Hello and welcome, this is Edward Code, and just a week ago I did a video comparing gameplay footage between the E3 and the Tokyo Game Show. However, just a few days ago, CDPR released on their official YouTube channel an enhanced version of the same footage on a Night City Wire episode aimed to the Russian community. And the quality of the footage is so much better. It is 4K to begin with, so it's the same quality as the 2018 E3 demo. On the other hand, the TGS was only 1080p, very low bitrate, and this new footage is amazing. So I decided to redo the analysis to be a little bit more fair, because we're comparing 1080p with 4K footage. And also there's a little bit of changes between those client versions. Not a lot of changes, but there's enough to see. So let's go into it. Oh, and by the way, I'm not gonna keep repeating myself, so if you haven't watched my previous video, make sure to check that out. It's linked in the video description or on the top right corner of your screen. The first thing that pops right into our eyes is that the TGS footage is really washed out when compared to both of them, while the Russian footage is super saturated. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see the colors again, because I like this vibrance, but I think they overdid a little bit. I'm not sure if this is actually an in-game setting that you can like tweak around to have more or less saturation. My bet that they applied some filter for this footage specifically. Not sure why. Maybe to highlight the ray trace reflections, because there's a lot more lighting going on here. So maybe that's their idea. Or maybe that is indeed the new aesthetics of the game on this part. Maybe the Maelstrom base got a lot more lightings going on around. I don't know, we have to wait and see, I guess. Either way, other than the super high saturation values and of course the much crisper image of the 4K, the TGS footage and the Russian Night City Wire is really similar. However, there are subtle differences. Check this out. The animation was a little bit glitch on the TGS, where V touches Jackie's arm. The hand just goes straight to his jacket. And it's not the case on the Russian footage. I wonder if this is actually a fix, or maybe the TGS was just an older version, outdated version, or even something a little bit different. Maybe there's this sort of small randomness related to the dialogue options, because if you pay really close attention, Jackie is slightly in a different position on the two footage. He rotates his torso a little bit on the TGS. That could be the cause of this collision. So maybe that's not a fix, maybe that's just the conversation went down a different route, and that caused the collision between the hand and the jacket. We also got to see the extended version of the brain dance scene, and it is amazing. I mean, there's Judy, what else do you need? And whenever we compare this with the same footage that was released on the first episode of Night City Wire, there are subtle differences. For example, if you pay very close attention to the mouth movement of this ganger, on the original footage, his mask were moving along with his lip, which I don't think is quite right, because the mask looks very rigid. It appears to be made of solid plastic, so it should not be moving like that. And on the latest footage, they fixed that syncing issue of the animation. So as you can see, most of the polishing they are doing on the past months is related to animations. And man, they're just nailing it down to the very minimal details, build after build. Also, they slightly changed the model of this ganger. His arm tattoo used to be a very generic prison tattoo, and now it's an art that honors Kobe Bryant, a very famous basketball player who died in a helicopter accident earlier this year. So that's a nice touch, I like it. And the last difference I could spot between those footage is this ganger, this sorry-ass ganger who's about to get a lead shot to the back of his skull. He has a new elbow pad. I'm not sure why he needs this fancy elbow pad, but it's different, it's there, and I appreciate it. Thank you CDPR for the small details you're putting into this game. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention on the Maelstrom part, note how we are missing the line where it says that this is a work in progress. So this is probably the final client of the game. If you've been following the news, CDPR announced that Cyberpunk 2077 is gold, which means they sent the final build to manufacture, to print the physical copies for Xbox and PS4. So there it is. That's the final client version. Everything else that they are working on on this final stretch of the development process will be probably patched as a day one patch for across all platforms. And man, the hype is real. I just cannot wait to play the game. Leave in the comments if you're as hyped as I am. I have a massive roadmap for post-launch content that will include guides, weapon breakdowns, tutorials, tips, just everything possible. Trust me, it's gonna blow your mind. So to not miss any of that, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I see you next time.